Don't mind him at all. Maybe give him one more opportunity to prove us. Sam Lawler's. Yeah, wasn't that something? Hello, what's going on? Luke Parker for McRae. Yeah, good play. I think McRae's a better option for sure. Dale looked very good, mate. Dale looked good. And he's going to be the main guy down there, so I like him. DeConing, Rosie, Dacos. Who should I VC and C? Oh, DeConing against Lloyd Meek's going to be hard work. I'd probably go Dacos. Who have the Pies got? Yeah, doggies, don't think they'll tag. So, yeah. All right, guys, we are live over on YouTube at the moment, so I might do a couple more questions on TikTok, and then we'll go over to YouTube. So yeah, obviously TikTok's kind of hard to keep up with every question because they go so quick, but YouTube we do actually go question by question, so bit easy to keep up. And we got the footy quiz tonight, so if you fancy yourself a bit of quiz, 8:45, 8:50. Yes, keep Will Ashcroft, keep him, mate. Captain Dawson. Oh, don't know if he's a captain yet, but he's maybe a VC. Could you VC him? Thanks for the follow, Clinton. Oh, I'm not sure the school would appreciate that. Rosie is captain. Who have Port got? Oh, they've got the Tigers. Yeah, not a bad shout. Not a bad shout at all. Alrighty, we might take this over to YouTube, guys. So feel free. Thanks for your questions. Feel free to jump over there and I'll get to all your questions. I will be live probably till about 9 o'clock. So yeah, if it takes your fancy, feel free to jump onto YouTube, just Shorty SuperCoach as well. So I would go DeConing out of those two, mate. Thanks for your questions and your follows, guys. I will talk to you soon. Cheers. YouTube, what is up? Let's just set this up. You guys got to be happy that I just landed the stream. You know, you got to be happy about that. We finally worked it out. All righty. Let's roll this up to the top. Give me one sec, guys. My overall message will be give guys a second round. Don't go just jumping off them just yet. That'll be my overall view. I think Perryman's certainly copped a fair bit of discussion. So I think it'll be interesting to talk about him as well. But did that work all right with the Premier stream and the waiting bay and doing that? Jack, Christmas has come early. My morning has just got better, Shorty, mate. Good to see you. Always a pleasure to see you in the comments, mate. Jonas, Shorty thinks it's Christmas because he's ranked in the top 32K. Detroit, hopefully there are no issues with the stream. I know, we finally got there, mate. And Pentos. Bro, remember, I'm my king. I love you. I miss you. You're a funny man. Jade Toop, what's up? How are you, mate? Good to see you. Jonas, what do you think about Sam and Tom DeConing? Yeah, look, they've impressed, haven't they? I did not think Sammy had that sort of performance in him in the ruck, but he was very good. Pentos, it's been ages, mate. It's good to see you. Good to see you. Great to have you on board. Sanger's back. Hey, Shorty, should I get Josh Bootsma? Somehow Josh Bootsma almost gets a weekly mention. It's crazy. Grinds, hey, mate, didn't get Bailey Smith. That hurts. Big regrets. To get him in this week, I've got to trade Sanders, Will Day, or Horn Francis. Should I wait a week and suss the scores first or just put him in this week? Nah, wait and suss the scores. I would not be trading Will Day or Horn Francis. If you had to out of those, it would be Sanders. But my overall message is give guys at least a second chance. We spent all preseason researching and discussing and making decisions. It was only 2 weeks ago that Sardis had 30 and Sam DeConing looked really poor in the practice game. Now it's flipped. So these things can change. Let's not be too reactive. And we get a free hit. The prices aren't moving next week, except for someone like Perryman who's playing his third game. Blessy, Perryman out for SDK. Again, I would lean towards hold. I kind of get why you might be a bit frustrated with Perryman because he's played 2 games and hasn't hit the ton yet. But I would personally hold. If you're convinced on trading, yes, I do think De Koning's a good call. Amusement, what's up, mate? Good to see ya. Cameron, thoughts on Stewart's role as a Cats man? They seem to always look for him when he rolls back. Yeah, I honestly don't like him going in the guts. I much prefer him floating around half back, but yeah, I think he is still going to be a really good option in SuperCoach, mate. Still think he's a good call. Anthony, I might get rid of Will Day if he plays bad this week. Well, yeah, look, and he deserves that extra week because if he plays 3 games and he's had 1 big one and then 2, pretty below par ones, yeah, okay, I kind of could see where you're coming from. But at this point, he's had 1 big one, 1 poor one, like 77 or whatever it was. It's not a disaster. Give him another chance. Pentos, you're a good man. J2, what did I tell you about Jeffrey? Watch this space. He's going large. Now, you were mentioning Joel Jeffrey, weren't you? Now, I don't know if you're just having a bit of fun with me here, but we will check to see what happened. Scored 95. Jesus, maybe he's right. Maybe he's right. What the heck? Luke, hey, Shorty, how you going? I'm pretty well, mate. How are you? Good to see your name pop up. Matthew, thoughts on Harry Armstrong? Do you think he could break out or needs a lot longer? Personally, didn't see or watch the game closely. I had it on, but I was at camp. I probably don't have enough info to answer that one, but maybe some people out there will be able to. Where are we? We've just scrolled right back down to the bottom. Amusement, thoughts on Jonas, Ashcroft and Lindsay over bastard Dusty Lawler. No, I think all of those guys could belong in our sides, but I'm going to sound like a broken record here. Let's give them 1 more week. It's another sample into their scores. Make a better decision off 2 games as opposed to 1. Let's wait and see. Digger, thoughts on Peatling? Only got 43% centre bounces. Is he a trade out? So he might be a guy you would trade out even after 1 because the role wasn't quite there. I think Sanders, the role was okay. He got centre bounce. And someone like Garcia, it was a howler of a day for St Kilda. I mean, I'm always leaning on the sides of giving guys an opportunity. But Peatling, yeah, I could maybe see it because I watched that game closely. I didn't really love the role. Hello, Jack. How are you, mate? Galaxy, Shorty, guess what? I'm working mornings for the next month, so that means I'll be here every week. Let's go, mate. We love that. Good to see you. And we got the quiz tonight. Luke, Finn O'Sullivan to Levi. I know I should hold another week, but may as well as I have so many North players. Look, if you feel like you got to, I mean, O'Sullivan, this is the thing. Things could flip. There's nothing to say that Ashcroft doesn't score 60 this week and Finn O'Sullivan scores 87. Like, these things can flip. There's a world where they're both in our sides, but yeah, off what we got shown on the weekend, Levi Ashcroft, he's a must-have. It's just a matter of how you bring him in and when you bring him in. I guess I just always lean on the side of give him 2 weeks and make the call. The only reason you wouldn't wait 2 games is if you're looking at next week and you're like, probably 4 or 5 changes I need to make, potentially. In that case, you might have to spread them because we can only do maximum of 3 each week. Yeah, that might be the other alternative. Yeah, same can be said for Sardis, mate. Give him another week for sure. Cooper, thoughts on Perryman and Garcia to Rankin and Pryor? Means I'll have to field 2 rookies out of Pryor, Trainer, Reid, or Patton. Gee. I mean, I do like Rankin a lot. I don't like having 2 defensive rookies on the field. I mean, I did that on the weekend and they both gave me 40s. I must admit, I don't know if I like it. I'm a bit torn. I think you got to find a way to get ranking in, but I don't know if it's sacrificing all of that. Galaxy, I told you Bailey Dale was the pick. Very happy with 1% ownership. Yeah, no, look, the only thing that scared me off was his limited preseason, but he came in and looked great. So, no, good call there, mate. Jack, shorty, I need Baz in this week. Perryman out by Patton into defense. Also, Hugo Garcia seems like a dead roll. Definitely get Smith in somehow. He is clearly a lock. I suppose, yeah, Garcia, what did he do in the end? Centre bounce-wise. They moved him forward in the third quarter, which was a nightmare. He managed to kick a goal, but so he only had, this is weird, right? He still had, so Steele and McRae had 30 and 28 centre bounces. Garcia was actually the next in line with 13. But the issue was you had like Hunter Clark with 9, Windhager with 9, Sinclair with 8. Get Zach Jones out of there. Come on. It was a nightmare for St Kilda. I'm standing by it. I really like Hugo Garcia. I do. I'm going to see what he can do for us this week. Pentos. Oh, Jackson, who is your pick for a rookie back? Well, unfortunately, mate, there is minimal options. I think Trainer's got good job security. Same with Zach Reed. Same with O'Sullivan. But I don't really like their scoring potential. And then Patton gets subbed off. Maybe Bo Allen comes in and can be a nice saviour for us. But yeah, honestly, for the defensive rookies, we're just going to have to be patient and wait for someone to bob up because they're just not there yet. Bazooka, howdy, shorty. How you going? I'm good, mate. How are you? Good to see the tech issues sorted out this week. Thank you, mate. Thank you. We finally got it running. Much to my frustration the last couple of weeks, we got it going. Jackson, we mentioned that one. Sanger, Justin Ryan, and Tim Starr are my locks this week. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, that's a quality one from Amusement. Cooper, or go Sardis to Lindsay this week and wait on Perryman and Hugo so don't have 2 defensive rookies. I would prefer that. Again, broken record, but there's nothing to say that Sardis could really break out this week because I think his role was reasonable. Let me just double check that. I could totally change here, but I felt like he got good centre bounces. So he did. He got 20 centre bounce attendances, which was more than Zach Merritt, only second to Jai Caldwell of the midfielders. So they have got a winnable game this week at home against Adelaide. They'd be underdogs, but it's winnable. Let's give him a chance. Ashton, I'm getting Sam De Koning in for Saints against Boyd. Yeah, that's probably another good point is that De Koning has another favourable ruck option. It'll be really interesting to see when the Cats... So he will play Reedy and a little bit of Jackson and then Boyd, which will go well. Then McInerney, who's not traditionally nothing too imposing. But then he's got Max Gawn in round 4. Riley O'Brien, and then I think it's Tristan Cherry. Oh, no, Cherry might not be till later. Lloyd Meek. So, look, you're right. He's probably got a pretty handy draw, to be honest. What'll be tough for him is he plays Meek, Tom De Koning, Darcy Cameron. Like, there's a lot of good rucks. I mean, I guess we've just got to back him in if we're picking him, you know? But, yeah, Sam De Koning looked good. Certainly not going to talk you out of him. Just going to take a couple of notes because this will help me do my preview. Perryman's come up a bit. Sam De Koning, Fraser, Sardis, a few guys coming up. Rookies, Lindsay, Ashcroft. Luke, thoughts on Sanders to Lindsay? Frees up some cash so I can go De Koning or Whitfield next week for Patton. Again, I'd like to see Sanders with a second game. I'm sorry, but that is going to be my answer. If you prefer to go this way, by all means do it. But let's not forget that we have the same conversation towards the end of every year. Oh, God, I've run out of trades. I wish I had another trade. So it's right now that you've got to think about round 20, and be like, oh, do I just hold off on a trade or two? Is it necessary? Do I have to do it? Because you will be begging for trades by round 20 and 21. Galaxy, I'm so tired, Shorty. I'm going to need some energy from you to make it through the stream. Well, mate, get up, son. Get up and about. I need you. I need you for the quiz. Jackson, who is your... Oh, yeah, we touched on that. Amusement. He's in a mood today. James, g'day, Shorty. How's it going? Keen for round 2. Thoughts on... See if I can find your comment. Thoughts on Hugo Garcia and O'Driscoll, and screw Ross the boss for putting him in the forward pocket. I know, mate. Look, I am going to give Garcia another opportunity, but I will level with you. O'Driscoll's a must. So didn't it just kill you with Ross? Just seeing him chucking him in a forward pocket just killed me. And then to see Zach Jones running around in the midfield. Get him out. He's a piece of shit. I was like, come on, what are we doing playing Zach Jones in the guts? With all due respect. Ashton, what do you think of Tom Powell? Yeah, mustn't have used it well. I saw that he averaged or scored like 120 something in Dream Team AFL Fantasy and then 85 in SuperCoach. But I'm going to say, as I always do, as I'll say with Will Ashcroft, give him another week. If you've picked him, if you've researched and planned all preseason and you picked him, don't turf him out on 1 week. Galaxy, this week I'm going to do no trades. Pretty happy with my side, but not perfect. Reckon guys like Will Day, Will Ashcroft, LDU will still be good for me. Absolutely. Like, let's pick a random premium from last year. I don't know. Like, give me a player. Give me a random player. A random premium from last year. Give me a couple, and we'll look at their scores. Gus, what's up, mate? I'll get to your questions soon, mate. Good to see you. Come on, give me a primo. We could go someone like Nick Martin. Thank you, mate. So Nick Martin, overall, good pick, yeah. 105, did well. Let's look at some of his scores. Now, Nick Martin started the year well, so he's not one that we would have panicked on. But there you go. So Nick Martin last year starts, this is a good example, starts with 63 and 93. Harry Perryman, hello. That worked out well. Harry Perryman scores 93 and 62, doesn't he? Then he goes 136, 133, 100, 114, 124, 122. And overall averages 105. So it's just an example of guys can change their outlook just because they put in 2 slightly poor games. Hayden Young. Let's look at Hayden Young last year. Hayden Young, 2024. Round 1, 70. Round 2, 62. What's he go from there? We all trade him out, myself included. 132, 119, 114, 79, 94, 130, 65, 121, 105. I'm just saying sometimes guys have quieter weeks and it's okay. They do bounce back sometimes. My main reasons to trade would be we've seen a change in role, or the role's not what we thought, or they played so bad that you just cannot trust them. That would be my only options. Jonas, don't listen to Shorty. You need to trade players this week. You can only bring in 3 players next week, not 5. Shorty gets left behind. Look, I said before, the only exception would be if you are feeling like you will need to make 5 changes, then yes, clearly. But I would hope not. Kane, do you think DeConing is going to average a good score? I assume you're talking Sam. And yeah, I do. He'll have his ups and downs. So I still feel like he's a more mobile ruck. So I fear for Sam DeConing when he comes up against Lloyd Meek and Max Gawn. I think he'll get monstered. But he is very good around the ground, so he should be able to find enough of the ball to make up for that, hopefully. Mazza, hello, good sir. How's Perryman, Cleary and Cherry for Bowie, Fraser and TDK? I don't know if I can sit here and endorse trading out Tristan Cherry, and I don't think Bowie's someone we'd bring in. He was good, but no, I probably wouldn't go those, mate. You're trading out Cherry, and I don't know about that. James, oh yeah, we touched on that one. Aiden, and thinking of trading in Dunkley, Smith, and DeConing, but means getting rid of Perryman, Short, and Day. Nah, look, see, mate, I don't know. Maybe I view it differently, but I just think we're getting too reactive on this. It was 2 weeks ago that Perryman scored 90. It was 4 weeks ago he scored 110 in a pracky. It was 2 weeks ago Will Day scored 150. Oh, I don't know. It seems too reactive for me. I'll be interested to see your thoughts on this. How many trades for you this week? Let me know your thoughts. I feel like most people would probably 2 or 3 by the sounds of it. I do apologize, guys. We're miles behind on the questions, which often happens. All right, Pentos, sounds good. Jack, we do have a quiz tonight. We do, mate. We do. Graz, mad. I faded. Bailey Smith. Oh, name Pal Pepper. Gosh. Let's not forget that this week is best 18 because we've got buys. So just remember that we will have a fair bit of wriggle room. J2, I see the bloke train every day, mate. He's a bargain at 300K. Wait, who are we talking about? And also can confirm Matt Rao eats grass at training as well. Oh, Jeffrey. Yep. What role is he playing? Tiger Rewald. Hey, Shorty. Perryman, Garcia, and Rosie and Patton makes sense. Could do Sanders. Perryman, Garcia to Rosie and Patton. Oh, yeah. Look, if it floats your boat, by all means, I am giving these guys a second week, particularly Garcia. Perryman, I could understand. Kane, thoughts on Soligo? You think Perryman should be a must out? He's not a must out, but I do think it's an option. And in terms of Soligo, played well. He did play well. I'll be interested to see his centre bouncer tennis. There's a lot of mids going through the Crows lineup. So Soligo, 18 centre bouncers, third in line. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, yeah, don't mind it. I wouldn't go out of my way to trade him in, but he did play well. Hey, Lukey, what's up? G'day, Shorty. How are you? Not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Thoughts on the Cats game on Saturday and thoughts on Bailey Smith's game? Also, how do you think they'll go Saturday night versus the Saints? Are you going to the game? Nah, not going to the game, but I'll certainly be watching on. Very excited to see how the Cats played on the weekend. Thought Bailey Smith just fitted in beautifully. Covers the ground fantastic, and I think complements our midfield really nicely. And Saints have a funny way of sometimes bringing a really good game against us. But, yeah, off the back of what we saw on the weekend, got to be confident, I think. Oscar, is Matt Owies a potential cash cow? Matt Owies, goodness me. No, unfortunately not. Crazy. Shorty, how does the quiz work? Is it on an app or just on here? Yeah, so it's on Blookit. So I will send through a link and a code. So, yeah, if you want to get involved, mate, stick around. We'll do it probably in about 30 or 40 minutes. Better make sure. Jesus. Apologies for anyone's eardrums I just blew out, but I just got to plug in my charger here, guys. Jesus, that was hectic. Where are we up to? Jack, trade or hold Sanderson Garcia? Yeah, look, I am sounding like a full-blown broken record, but it is a hold for me. Give him a second chance. There's a reason we pick these guys. And there's a reason we run out of trades at the end of every year, no matter how many trades they give us. It's because we waste too many at the start of the year. Because let me paint the picture for you. We trade them all out, right? What if Sanders scores 91 this week? Do we regret it? What if Garcia, what if Ross says, you know what, we need to go young. We need him in there. Scores 110. Like, what if they just played their better game second and their worst game first? Like, it can ebb and flow. We saw what Nick Martin did, 60 and 90, and then he exploded. Had it Hayden Young. Yes, there's a world where maybe Sanders is crap. Maybe Sardis doesn't bounce back. Maybe Garcia is just going to play forward. Maybe. But I think it's worth seeing. It's worth finding out with 2 games. We answered that one. A sneaky VC on World Day. Well, potentially. Look, George Hewitt can sometimes be a bit defensive, but yeah, look, we know his ceiling. He can go big. Jack, I don't understand why people are trading Flynn. They're trading Flynn? Yeah, he maybe got smacked in the rucks against Wits, but he still got 90. Yeah, mate, that is bizarre to me. And 27% of people, 0 trades. And I salute you. Well done. That's an applause. 1 trade, 16%. 2 trades, 31%. And 25% of people are doing 3 trades using a trade boost. Look, don't tell me I didn't warn you. I'm just saying you can absolutely burn yourself by using too many trades now. I think it's worth seeing how these guys go. Matthew, I'm 4th overall. Matthew, what? With Jimby, mate. Hop back on. My boy Jimby. My old mate. Jesus. Are you 4th overall, bro? Well done. That's impressive. Detroit, no trades this week unless I got Pal Pepper. Yeah, I would agree. We like melons. Shorty, thoughts on the sea on Josh Dunkley? Yeah, look, he's a reliable pick. It's pretty rare to pump out 170s back-to-back, but I think he's a very good option. Hayden, what is Finlayson's potential max price? Oh, look, I think if it really got going for him, he could go 480, 490. I mean, if he keeps averaging in and around 90, he could get up towards your 500s and make you over 200K. But I liked his role. I did. Swift's magical. Are you going to set your team up or go for people that are going to go up in price like Ned Long and Corey Warner? So I am going to just assess everything this week. I won't make any trades unless I'm forced to by something unexpected. And then, we'll look to pick off the must-have rookies, the guys that maybe I missed or guys that I got wrong. Because I think in a couple of weeks, there's a world where maybe I do trade Perryman, Sanders, and Garcia next week. That's probably a possibility, yeah. But another possibility is that they respond and they become good picks. They become the reason we actually picked them. So I wouldn't write them off just yet. Detroit, I don't have Ashcroft because I think he will have the vest on heaps. Yeah, he may well. Like, I've got no doubt he will have the vest at some stage, which will be frustrating. But I think across the whole season, the good will outweigh the occasional sub. So I still think he will be a good option, I feel. Luke, what were your thoughts on Thursday night's game? Shorty, how did the school react straight after the game on camp? Or did they go to bed before the end? Yeah, look, we just couldn't send them to bed, mate. There were a few that were really passionate Tigers fans. So we thought, I can't be sending them to bed. So we let them watch, and they were pretty pumped. It was good fun. I really enjoyed it. Camp was great. Marcus, is Sin a hold? Look, I've been saying for a lot of guys hold, but I think Sin is a trade. So I didn't really like that he was playing sort of lockdown, didn't really get too involved with any run and carry. So that's probably an example where the role wasn't really there. So I would trade him. Nah, they were pretty pumped, Lukey. They were pretty pumped. I owe them a canteen voucher now. Jack, Garcia, time on ground was the issue, I think. Same with Sardis. Interesting. I'm going to have a look at that. Yeah, Garcia, only 61% time on ground. I wonder why that was. Was that just, is that going to be his lot in life, or did he just get unlucky and, they got stuck on one side and couldn't get back on for a while? Because sometimes that happens. Sardis, 57. Wow. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Well, we hope that changes. Jeez. Crazy Hazy, trust, get Garcia out, may as well make the trade now. Wow, you really sold on it, hey? Jeez, I'm happy to give him another chance. D-Mac, what's going on, mate? Good to see you. He says second best score of the week for my draft, of course, versus the guy. Oh, of course, the guy who he pipped you by a point. Oh, no, that is so frustrating. So frustrating because you see guys get wins with these scores that aren't even that good. But if you're scoring well in the league, it sounds like you'll be well set up for the whole season, hopefully. Jackson, who is your shout for back around 200 to 250K range then? Or around that range, no one really stands out. I don't think there's anyone, to be honest, mate. No one's really bobbing up. We might just have to wait. Like, as frustrating as it is, we may just have to wait. Let's have a look. I'm just going through it now, and yeah, there's honestly nothing. Like, it's looking pretty bleak there. Yeah, we've gone. Yeah, no, there's nothing. Look, sometimes we can't force a price change or a price range, I should say. There's nothing there. Luke, do you reckon Voss should be sacked, Shorty? If I was a coach, I would have quit the next day. No, look, I don't think they're going to solve what's going on by sacking him. Not off one game. I think let's just wait and see. You know, we saw Collingwood bounce back. Yes, it's a disgraceful loss, terrible loss. But if we sack the coach, what are we achieving, really? Like, I think, to me, the players seized up and they were caught in the moment. They failed to execute and handle the pressure and the run on. I don't know. Unless you can accurately say that, yeah, the coach cost them the game, I feel like, I don't know if it's a coaching issue. Joe, hey, buddy, go the Catters. Absolutely, mate. I will trade out Perryman, Garcia, and Chera for Smith, Dunkley, and Bice. Wow, we're trading out Chera, who turned up. Look, I could understand Perryman. I could even understand Garcia. I'm personally holding, but yeah, you've got to find a way to get Smith in. I'll give you that much. Ponka. McStay or Membry, either is something different for the forward line. Nah, both are a no, mate. I'm sorry. They've had good games, but nah, absolutely not for our teams. Anthony, James Peatling for Liam Baker. Yeah, I could be entertained by that. Yeah, I could see that being a good option. Yeah, that's it, Jonas. Shorty censoring comments Chinese style as usual. I'm taking my talents elsewhere. Don't support this rubbish. Look, Jonas, I'm sorry, mate. I'll read out all the relevant ones. You know we have our fun later in the year, but look, when I'm backed up with so many comments, I'll try and read a couple out for you, mate. Please stick with me. Waters, hey, Shorty, didn't see the game. How did Sin look? How was the role? From what I saw, he was mainly playing on Bobby Hill, which I did not really like. More of a defensive option. So, yeah, if I was an owner, I'd be trading. Crazy, Shorty, how does the quiz? Oh, yeah, we answered that one. I'll give you a code. Here's Gus. Hey, Shorty, I haven't seen you lately. Gee, you had a good preseason. If you know what I mean. Anyway, thoughts on getting Lockie Keefe out and bringing in Lindsay? Yes, mate, get in Lindsay. He looked pretty good. Oh, geez. Gus, welcome back, mate. Goodness me. Long-time listener, first-time caller. What's the time the custard served? Oh, geez. We love a long-time first time. Good to see you, mate. Crazy. Sin, maybe Jackson. Not exactly sure. Oh, yeah. That was, sorry, I'm with you. Yeah, we're back here. Oh, thanks for those that did give me a premium. Thank you. Ashton, what do you think of getting Ned Long for Garcia as a cash cow with a 31 break even? Again, I'm going to have to say, let's wait and see what Long does. Did he play round one or opening round? Because if he's on the bubble, then that's a different question. But I get the feeling he didn't play. Oh, he did play. Okay. So he's priced at 200. Yeah. Look, it's not the worst. Why did he score? Oh, he was the sub, was he? He was a sub first week. Fair enough. Yeah, I could wear that then. That's not a bad call. big-bodied mid, did get plenty of opportunities. Yeah. Luke, what are your thoughts on the Archer suspension? Yeah. Part of me sort of feels like, gee, what more could have he done? But I think, unfortunately, well, maybe fortunately, we're at that stage where if you're entering a contest at speed, you've really got to come in assessing it and being like, I have responsibility here for the bloke that's also attacking the ball. He was a bit unlucky. Like, Cleary dropped the ground, copped a push. I think he's a bit unlucky. There was no malice in it, but potentially a bit stiff. But we're also at that stage where, if you knock a guy in the head like that and you've been shown to have not taken as much care as maybe you should have, you're going to be suspended, and that's what happened. And in Luke's opinion, he should not have got 3 weeks. It was a complete accident, I reckon. I understand Cleary got badly concussed, but there wasn't much he could do. And I suppose some people would say he should have made a different choice before he got himself in that position, whether that was lowering his body or slowing up. That's, I guess, what we're asking of our players, which, sometimes is unreasonable, and guys are going to get suspended for largely being unlucky, which sucks, but it will happen, which it did. Mark Robinson at Herald Sun. This should be good. What's going on? How's it going, Shorty? But had a few bevies, and with Fox Footy giving me the boot, I've spontaneously started Bob Marley tribute band. I'm in Geelong and need a professional bongo drummer. Mate, lock me in, bro. I am known for my bongo drumming. And he continues, I don't have a drum set, but I've got a pair of ass cheeks. Do you know any pros that could help me live out my dream and maybe help me with my 28th whiskey? Cheers, Slovo. Yeah, I know a couple people. Yeah. Look, me and Cov will be round. I'll talk to my people. You talk to your people. We'll be in touch. Should I make any trades? Says Detroit. My underperformers were Leak and Sam Powell-Pepper. I would trade them, yes. So I think there's some guys that are worth giving a chance, but when the roles were as poor and the scores were as poor as they were from those guys, I would make changes, yes. Justin, no trades. Plan to dump Perryman if bad again next week with his bye and bring in Whitfield. Yeah, I'm right there with you, mate. Like, I don't want to sound like I'm backing Perryman and Sanders and Garcia in to be good. I'm just giving them another chance. So I think the exact same as you guys. There's every chance that they're not good picks, but I just want to give them a second shot. Deal Clark, keep an eye on Riley Bice. Scored 52 from 31% time on ground to be best 22 this week, but then has a bye. I think he can save our backlines after his bye. Yes, I love that, mate. I did see him come on and saw him in the practice game too. He's got quite a nice left foot, doesn't he? So, hopefully he can. I really hope he can. So, fingers crossed. And I think Nick Dacos will fall to a really nice price in about a month or so too. So that might help. And then, look, we can always hope that one of Goulden, Butters, or Bontempelli starts really slow and we pick them up mid-season for a good price. Mills comes in. Coleman comes in over the next month. There might be some saviours, but, gee, it was a tough first week, I reckon. Swank, I scored 2,227. Lovely, mate. Good stuff. And unfortunately, faded Baslenka, giving the team another week before making any trades. But bloody hell, some of the rookies need to lift. I know, mate. We need a few guys to lift, don't we? It was one of those rounds where I was watching and I was like, I just felt uncomfortable about almost everything that was happening with my team. It just wasn't working. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I've got to face up to the YouTube crowd now. But look, I'm backing in a few of my boys. We're backing them in. Jackson, what time is the quiz? Yeah, so quiz will be probably about 9, maybe 10 to. I'll judge it by how many questions we have. But, yeah, I normally put the code out at about 10 to. That's just slid me all the way back. Gee whiz, I do apologise. We are miles behind, but we'll do our best to get through as many as we can. Where are we? Swank, also incredibly happy that I kept old mate Ed Richards, probably my favourite player to watch currently. Also only rage trade in reality thinking is Sardis. Nah, fair. Yeah, Ed Richards, good call. Like, I wasn't sure how he'd go after a bit of a concern with the calf leading in, but he looked great, didn't he? Gus, I need to use my boost to get rid of Shannon Neal and Nick Bryan. They are my rucks. Thinking of bringing in Chol and Meek. Do you think Merritt is a good flex? I'm not sure how we're going here. Look, bring in Meek. Don't bring in Chol. Zach Merritt's more than a flex, mate. Get him on the field, but please, people need to back their teams in, shorty. They do, mate. We got to back players in. Have a bit of faith. Have a bit of faith. Also, I'm thinking of going live on TikTok for a game this week. I'm thinking maybe Essendon and Adelaide, or Port Adelaide and Richmond. I'm not sure. There's none on the Sunday that really excite me, but yeah, so let me know if you got a preference. Prestige, another year of the great man Shorty. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Welcome back. You too. Good to see you. Thoughts on Powell Pepper? Must trade or let him play Richmond and make a call after that? Look, I didn't really like him from the start. Injury concern. I think he's a sub concern. I would trade, but if you've got more faith than me, let it ride because they do play the Tigers, as you say. Luke, Shorty, how do you reckon Sydney will go this year? Look, to me, I think they look a bit broken. I just think they're missing too many weapons. They're really missing Goulden. I think they're a slider. I still think they'll make the 8, but probably bottom half of the 8. Lockie, 1 only because there is no way for me to get Bailey Sniff. Oh, 1 trade. Yep, fair. Yeah, got to get him in. Dan, I feel like everyone is being super reactive on Lindsay. I don't know how to feel. Mate, I'm with you. I think everyone's being reactive to everything at the moment. Look, what's to say that Lindsay scores 50 this week and Finn O'Sullivan scores 90? You're right. These things ebb and flow. They chop and change. I wouldn't be making huge calls on rookies and mid-prices off 1 week. Got to give them at least 2. That's why we have the couple of weeks before the price rise, to make a well-rounded decision. Let's just take in all the info, But, gee, I'll be on Sanders' watch Friday night. And you know what? I'm backing him in. And I think he'll score 90+. Luke, what time is the quiz so I can come back? Yeah, well, look, mate, you've probably already left because I've taken so long, but it'll be around 9 o'clock. Xavier, I might trade Collar Jasny for a pair of socks and 2 apples. Whoa. Jack, the only worry for me with Perryman was the role changing to being more defensive tagger, but I do want got the itchiest arm, I tell you. I was at the beach today. Changing, be more defensive, yeah, but want to wait a week on him, but struggling to find a way to get him in without trading. Yeah, fair. Look, you're right. I felt the same. It was disappointing to see him be a bit more defensive. Let's see what he can do Friday night. Mazza, Dewey, Sam DeConing or Joel Frazier? I'd prefer DeConing, but yeah, they're both pretty impressive. Answered that one. Shannon Neal getting a run. Look, Neal looked okay, but probably not a SuperCoach option, I don't think. Jack, I think I'm looking at that Jordan De Goey is coming back and don't know where Perryman fits Collingwood's mid. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if De Goey really splits his time across the midfield and forward. Probably the main concern for me was Steele Sidebottom coming from a wing to inside mid and long. Like, where did that come from? So that's probably a bit of a watch and see as well. Or if you see this comment, reply with Daddy Shorty. Gus, you're a funny man. You are a funny man. Tiger Rewalt, if Jack Ross scores well again this week, he's a sneaky pod cash cow. Yeah, agree, mate. I think he certainly showed some signs and gets plenty of midfield opportunity. Xavier hitting a Daddy Shorty. We love that. J Toop, a lot of match sim and full ground drills. He's playing the same role, and Daniel Rioli, dashing halfback, gets the license to push up. Okay. You have been big on this, and I do respect it. So you've been proven correct after 1 week. We'll watch this space, hey? Detroit says, goodbye to Leak. Hello, Sam DeConing. I could easily use 3 trades, but I don't want to burn trades. Only 1 this week. Yeah, good call. Just remember when you're wishing you had more trades, and we've all been there, round 21, 22, we wish we saved a couple of trades now to use them later. So unless you are 100% sold that Sanders sucks and Perryman sucks and Garcia sucks, all right, if that's what you think, do it. But unless you're 100%, let's just see, because you might need that trade more. You just never know. Noah, is it more important to trade in Levi Ashcroft or Lindsay? I think Levi. I think he is a better option. I feel he would be where I put my focus. Thanks, Oscar. Thanks, mate. I don't want to use any boosts this year, says Detroit. Well, look, up to you, but they definitely come in handy sometimes, and they're there for just when we need them. Dan, I traded Perryman for Sam DeConing the night before they played. I was so happy I did. Well played, mate. You would have been very pleased with that one. Oscar, Shorty, I heard Chris Yaron is making a return to footy. Is he a lock? And if he does come back, is that serious? Well, what is he even doing with himself these days, mate? Xavier, Shorty, do you ever get Dorito dust stuck in my mustache? Look, probably going to keep rolling with that one, mate. I'm not even sure quite where to take that. Harry, don't see many reasons to make trades this week. I'm there with you, mate. I think let's just absorb all the info we can and make an informed decision after 2 weeks. Luke, loved the way the Cats played. Kicked well. Yes, they did, didn't they? Also, Shorty, what were your thoughts on Port versus Pies game? Oh, super disappointing, mate. If you're a Port fan, I just don't see the Hinkley thing working. I just feel like if he's not your guy, make the call. Almost feels like they're just in limbo. It'd be different if it was somehow freeing them up and they played with freedom and dare because it was his last year. But tell you what, the first example wasn't good, was it? Not good at all. Oh, geez. No, look. Bring in Archer Day Wicks. No need for that yet, mate. No need. Dan, New Year, same cherry, bro. He's just so reliable. He is, mate. He is. He'll be one of the first guys I try to bring in for sure. Thoughts on the name Cardman22? I do remember the name, but don't know where you're leading me with that one. DA, thoughts on Dunkley? Yeah, as reliable as they come, mate. Look, he's scored 110 or average 110 the last 3 years and thereabouts, most years in his prime. He's a good option. Justin started the season in Work League last weekend, beat Work Bestie. Told him to email Herald and asked to use all 40 trades this week. Yeah, there's some funny forfeits, isn't there? There's a few funny ones going around. Take Taco Grinds. Is Sam Powell Pepper a wait and see too, or think we ditch the fella? He's one I do think we ditch. He is one that I would ditch. Harry, people trading to Koning got to be somewhat of an overaction. Have to see his role for at least 1 to 2 more games. Yeah, I think me and you are feeling pretty similar, Harry. I think let's just take a couple of games to have a look at it. I'd imagine he goes well again this week because he's up against Boyd from St Kilda. So, yeah. But look, DeConing couldn't have done anything more. But, yeah, the general philosophy of giving it 2 games, I absolutely agree. JRD, hey, Shorty, in a bit of a tough position right now, but your advice would be helpful. This will be good. Should I tell my sister? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, bro, you're a funny man. I thought you were serious for a sec there. Caleb, Isaac Rankin. Yeah, mate, find a way to get him in. We love Rankin. I pumped him up all preseason. I'm glad I stuck with him. Mac, Carlton lads, Ladettes on camp would have asked if they could go to bed early. I know, mate. Look, there wasn't any. So I don't know whether there actually wasn't any or they just climbed into the woodwork and didn't own up. But, yeah, it was all Tigers watching at the end. It's Gaz. Would you keep Flynn or Meek if you needed to trade one for cash to get Baz? Oh, I'd keep them both, mate. Lloyd Meek looked all right, didn't he? I don't know what he scored, but I thought he turned up, unless I missed something. Flynn did his job at the price, absolutely. And Lloyd Meek, 2 games with an average of 102. So, okay, a bit quieter last week, but no, I'm a hold on those. I think there's got to be other ways to get in Baslenka. Kieran, what do you think, or what do you need to see from Perryman to keep him minimum score? Yeah, it's got to be at least 90, almost 95, to be honest. Yeah, that would be my marker. Because the thing is, if he comes out and scores 96, all of a sudden it's like that's 2 out of 3 scores, decent, over 90. Maybe he's building. I'm not sure he's going to be a guy that averages huge numbers, but he might just get his way to 500K and hopefully average in the 90s if he can get rolling. But yeah, I still think he's a pretty solid player. Luke, were there any Carlton fans? No, we just mentioned that. Yeah, but they all would have been pissed off. I know. I think they might have tucked themselves into bed, mate, if there was. Charlie, any funny stories from camp? Oh, yeah, there was a couple, but probably not for I won't sell them out. But look, funny story from me. I lost my wallet the other day. Crazy scenes, right? And it's not uncommon. I think I told this one somewhere. It's not uncommon for me to lose my wallet or keys, but it always bobs up, right? It always bobs up. Anyway, Friday night, I went and got fish and chips and watched the game with my dad and another mate who got KFC and brought it over. Anyway, I paid for my fish and chips with my card, had my wallet. Saturday morning, go to Brekkie. Where's my wallet? Don't know, whatever. I'll just use cash. Couldn't find it. Was looking everywhere over the weekend. Every crevice of my car, all through my room. Checked mum and dad's because there were the only 3 spots I could have it because I knew I had it at the fish and chip store and went to the fish and chip place. Said, hey, have you had a wallet handed in? No. Anyway, I'm turning my room upside down. I'm getting angry because I'm like, for God's sake, this is going to be so inconvenient. And I'll go over to mum and dad's and we sort of just jokingly said, well, it's probably gone. Probably ended up in the fish and chips. And mum's like, oh, we should have a look. And I'm thinking, mum, I have looked everywhere. It's not going to be, we're not going through a bin. Classic mum, what a legend, goes through it. And it's in the KFC bag. Crazy. How it ended up there, I've got no idea. It obviously just got knocked in there in the cleanup and the pack up. But, oh, man, I was relieved because it's so annoying to change all those accounts. It would have been an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. How are we going for time? Yeah, we'll probably put the quiz code out in about 10 or probably 15. We'll see how we're going. Jack, Vossi isn't the whole reason for the Blues' putrid performance. Ford's coach needs to kick up the arse, bombing it into the Ford 50 with 67 injuries, only 24 shots. That's a coach killer. Yeah, I agree, mate. There's more people to blame than just Vossi. Mac, Garcia roll and subbed, and with Hall going well. Well, Garcia wasn't subbed, but he was, he was put forward, which is frustrating. Sanders hasn't taken his moment. 2 games, no Bont Trelaw. Yeah, only 1 game. Look, I'm happy to give him 1 more. Sardis in past seasons hasn't gone 60s twice, so his 90 could be an anomaly and Parrish is in soon. Perryman roll changed out of mids and tagged. Degoe now in. Yeah, look, no, a few of those are pretty relevant points. And I'm not saying that these guys are all going to bounce back. I'm sure there'll be a few that don't and they turn out to be spud picks. But the law of averages would suggest that we probably should give him a second chance. I could understand Perryman, particularly with Degoe back. He's played 2 games, so we've given him 2. But yeah. Let's be patient. It's a long season. Dan, my goat, Tommy Edwards, just got named. Did he? That's exciting, mate. That might be a nice little 99K rookie for us soon. We like that. Talbot Denture Clinic. If Archer broke his leg, does he still get suspended? Well, yeah, that would have been interesting, wouldn't it? Like, not interesting, but would have changed the narrative. I don't know. I mean, look, if Garcia, if Cleary isn't concussed, then he's probably got nothing to answer for. So maybe we're a bit too outcome based, but Josh Walker. Hey, Shorty, miss you today. Love you. I love you too, mate. Look, Shorty just needed a day, I think, but it'll be good to see you tomorrow, mate. Jeez, what a pleasure. I hope you're still in the chat, mate. What a pleasure to see Puck in the chat. Gus, and the word of the day is legs. Well, let's go back to Jesus Christ. Zach, will Matt Flynn get dropped? I would doubt it. Like, they might, given he got smashed, they might experiment, but I don't think they have anyone that would have gone well against Jared Witts. So, yeah, watch this space. Hopefully not. That would be a real concern. Luke, 17 scoring shots to 24 on Thursday night, and losing is pathetic. One of the many reasons why Carlton lost. Yeah, absolute disaster, mate, for the Blue Baggers. Absolute disaster. Bazookia, any news on when Tanner Bruin will be back from his finger injury? Could be a nice pod and lots of CBAs. Look, mate, I think we all know that he's a long way away. I don't think we'll be seeing him at all, mate. Crazy. Get Perryman out now with DeGoey back in. Yeah, you definitely could. I'm not going to tell you to look. I'd probably say Sanders, keep him, give him a chance. I'm not going to tell you to do that for Perryman. If you want to give him another shot, by all means. But if you want to trade him, that's fair too. I'm probably going to hold and just see. But yeah, he could be affected by DeGoey for sure. Tommy Fisher, Shorty, I took a punt on Logan Evans. Any chance he gets better half-back role if Finlayson and Sin aren't cutting the mustard based on last week's performance? Slightly different roles. Like, Sin played a bit more lockdown, and I thought Finlayson actually played well. So he might, but I probably wouldn't wait around for it. I don't think there's no real reason to think that it would just change. But like we've been saying, give it another week. They might change a few things because they were so poor. So if you've gone with him, yeah, give him one more week and judge it from there. Luke, also, Shorty, how do you reckon North go this year? If they were genuine, they should have beaten Bulldogs. I know, mate. They had a lot out, didn't they? Yeah, honestly, I thought they were going to do way better against the Dogs. So I think they'll improve and win 7 or 8 games, but they were disappointing on the weekend for sure. Rookie coach, probably asked and answered. Smith must have this week or wait a week. Look, if you can bring him in this week, then yeah, I would. But probably next week, but he is a must. That is for sure. He is a must. James, thoughts on DeConing as a pick? Yeah, he couldn't have been any better, mate. And Graz has sort of mentioned too, him or Fraser. I'd go DeConing. Just prefer probably the stability of the ruck role. There'll be times where DeConing gets beaten convincingly in the ruck because he's got Gawn coming up soon and Meek's not far away, but he's very good around the ground, very mobile. He honestly surprised me. So, yeah, I like that a lot. Joshy Walker, the toasties didn't hit the same today. Oh, he didn't eat one. Jeez. Yeah, look, out of respect, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll be back for some toasties on Friday, mate. In fact, I'll be back for tomorrow. Got some soccer going on at lunch tomorrow. I hope to see you there, mate. Harry, going to trade out Rankin this week. Going to trade out Rankin. I assume that's a typo. Justin, Port and Richmond, nothing be funnier than if the Teague stump Port. That would be insane. That would be pure madness if that happens. Goodness me. Patrick Hall, Cleary's not in the wrong. He didn't mean to go to the ground. But the reality is, if he kept his feet, regulation tackle and no issue. An unfortunate injury, but could have easily been an Archer broken leg. Yeah, well, that's it. It sort of divides opinions. I mean, I'm a bit torn on it. Like, we can only deal with the facts of the outcome. But yeah, I think if we ran that scenario 10 times, yeah, Archer might get his leg broken and there could be different outcomes from it. But yeah, maybe the learning is to a situation that potentially could have an outcome of a broken leg or a concussion, then we've got to approach that differently. I think Cleary, given he was on the ball, like he won the ball, that's the aim of the game. So I feel like he was less in the wrong, as you've said. Maybe it's in Archer because he might want to change his approach just to not get a broken leg as well, rather than a suspension. So there's probably education around the pace he approaches and just leading up to that collision, he could have done some things different. Booster Blaster, thoughts on Tom Powell? Yeah, he scored like 120 something in AFL Fantasy, only 85 SuperCoach. So he's winning the ball, but obviously something was out, whether that was probably the way he used it or whatever. But yeah, Give him another chance. He's clearly winning the footy. Nice, Luke. He's looking forward to the quiz. Hopefully get the W, mate. Good luck. Andy T, hope you've been having a good week. Shorty, thank you, mate. You too. Just wanted to ask, do you think Max Holmes will be mainly centre bounce mid for the Cats this year? Yeah, I think he will, mate. Look, he was one of the main guys in there on the weekend. Let me have a look. I think he and Smith are sort of the main men now. So, yeah, Holmes had 21, Atkins 22. Smith only had 9, but, gee, he was good at pushing up to the stoppage and getting involved, wasn't he? Super impressive. What's the quiz about? Just footy, mate. So a little bit of the weekend's footy and a little bit just general footy. Graz, thoughts on Perryman, Sampow Pepper and Flynn to De Koning, Levi Ashcroft and Smith? Oh, look, yeah, the overall trades make sense. I feel like if Flynn's named as the main ruck, he still scored okay, even after getting smashed. And who do West Coast have this week? West Coast have Brisbane. So nothing too crazy. Like McInerney's not a dominant type. And then they've got Freo. So hopefully that's still Reedy or Jackson. Nothing too scary. And then they've got the Giants, who Briggs, it's not like he's one of the absolute main guys. He's a solid ruck. And then they've got Carlton De Koning, who's obviously pretty hard work. But yeah, hopefully he can just keep the role because he did find a way to score. Shorty has Tice been on the honeymoon. Yeah, pretty good, I think, mate. Pretty dangerous. But, yeah, just a couple of messages here and there. I've sort of, he's sort of switching off from the socials, so I'll catch up with him heaps when he's back. But, yeah, I think he's having a good time. Booster, is he streaming somewhere else? No, sorry. So on YouTube, I go through every comment individually. So if it does take me a little bit of time to catch up, that'd be why. When I'm on TikTok, I just do whatever bobs up. So I know it takes a bit longer to get your answer on YouTube, but hopefully everyone gets their question answered in time. J2, footy training last night, was doing a full ground drill, went up for a mark, not knowing how close I was to the boundary line, landed on the fence and split my ass open. Jesus Christ, how's your Wednesday going, mate? That's brutal, bro. Goodness gracious me. You must have really lost your bearings to finish on the fence. Gosh, mate. I hope your recovery's all right. Look after your ass, mate. Goodness me. Luke, if the only way for me to get Levi is to trade O'Sullivan, do I do it? I'm scared O'Sullivan gets 80. Didn't actually watch the Doggies game. How was the Sanders role? Yeah, if that's the only way you can, then yeah, I would do it. The Sanders role, probably was like, it wasn't the best. Could have been worse. Like he still had 14 centre bounces, but yeah, it wasn't exactly what we wanted, I don't reckon. So watch this space. Michael, is Long the sneaky cash cow? He could be, mate. Like, I'm not going to go him, but he could be an option. Gee, he was impressive on the weekend. A bit of a surprise one. Luke, no, it was not. Port were pathetic. Do you reckon Josh Carr does coach sometimes this year? I reckon he does. Yeah, I reckon they will get frustrated, and I think they will make the call at some stage. Luke, only way to get O'Driscoll and Levi is to trade Sardis and O'Sullivan. Yeah, look, is there any rush? Like, do you have to do that this week? I feel like we could get another look at them. Port looked like it was a coach's last game and about to get sacked, says Luke. Yeah, shocking, mate. It was no good. Detroit, I am going to keep Sampow Pepper because he is Richmond. I just think the whole Port team was off. I'll give him this week to go 60 plus. That's fair, mate. That's fair. Look, I'm an advocate for the patience. You know, that's what I'm doing with a lot of my guys. Dan, what does POD stand for? Point of difference. So, yeah, a player that's a bit more unique. Professor Michael. Daniel Emerald Short. We meet again. If a team loses the grand final but gains a truly deep philosophical understanding of their place in the universe, did they truly lose? That's deep, man. That's about as deep as the professor has got on me, I think. Maybe not, mate. I think if they've found that in life, that's the true win, bro. So, fuck, that's deep stuff. I respect it. Patrick's talking to Luke about the Sanders role. Shannon, shorty thoughts on Durham as a pod? Nah, it doesn't do much for me. I felt like he just wasn't in the centre bounce as much as maybe we would have thought. Like, I thought he was going to be that real inside mid, but unless I got it wrong from the visuals, but he 18 centre bounces, same as Merritt, but nah, I don't think so. Not for me. It's Smith twin. Oh, hello, Daniel. Oh, Ella, how you going, mate? You've made your way on, and they see Miss Ryder as well. Well, this could really get interesting. Is it true that you lost to Lance Bananas by 24 points in the Lara Supercoach League? Yes, it is, mate. And I also created your team, but no, that's cool, man. It's cool. Shorty's back to the drawing board. I was copping it from Fennel, but that's all right. Fennel, whatever his name is. Patrick, Shorty, I promise you Finlayson did not play well. Well, maybe I'm not going to blame him too hard. I mean, the ball came in ridiculously easy. I thought he used the footy well. He made a couple of intercepts. I don't reckon many defenders could have done well with the midfield pressure that was coming in, or the lack of midfield. James, you reckon Sam de Koning rucks if Stately is in? Oh, Stanley, and especially if it's against like Gawn or Cherry. Yeah, that's a definite risk that they could get Stanley to help him out against Gawn or Cherry, some of those bigger guys. It is a risk, but I think if de Koning's pumping out tons, it's probably a risk worth taking, because I think Geelong will be less likely to offer him support if he's playing really well. Miss Ryder is on the live. Oh, my God. Anthony, do we keep Kako? Yeah, absolutely, mate. Keep him for sure. Justin, hurdles training at the Roos this week. Yikes, what's going on there? Yes, correct. Miss Ryder is in the live, and she's in the quiz as well. So I reckon we might get the quiz going. I'll just load that up, and then we'll get that quiz code happening. Patrick, Powell had 24 uncontested, only 3 contested, and only 3 clearances, and hacked it. That'll do it. Can find a cheap mark or handball. Yeah, that's fair, mate. That's fair. Look, if he's going to use the ball like that or win it like that, it's not going to help, is it? So it's a fair call. That is a fair call. Thanks for that. I didn't realize. Lana's saying hello to Amelia and Ella. Good stuff. Nikki, hey, Shorty, I've done my trades this week. Perryman and Sanders out for Matt Johnson. Yes, a risk, but it's my flex and Lawson Humphreys. Thoughts? Wow. Bit risky for me, I'm not going to lie. But you'll have to keep me posted with how some of those goes. That's a high-risk strategy, mate. So, yeah, if you're new and you want to do the quiz, this is where you can do it. Or you can just look it. And the code is 272 08110. There we go, 10. And that's the code you're looking for. J2, yep, no wiping on. Jesus Christ. Got a few stitches in. Yeah, my eyes for the footy, let's say. Yeah, only eyes for the footy, mate. That sounds like some brutal stuff, bro. Rest up, man. Rest up. Love the attack on the footy. Justin, yes, they lost from Alliance fans. Not only the grand final, but round 1 sucked too. Yeah, boy, oh boy. Jack, Caldwell was a pig and took most CBAs. I don't think Durham is a pick. Now, fair call. James, are you worried about Bailey Smith on a wing on the wider grounds the MCG as compared to GMHBA? Nah. Look, I think he will be one of our main mids. He might start a bit outside, but he did push up to the stoppage a lot. So it wasn't like your classic wing role from what I felt. And you could look at it the other way. He could thrive on the space at the MCG if they really get going. So, no, I'm not worried about that one, mate. James, I'm thinking of trading McRae. Feel like he should get dropped. Well, you would only trade him if he did get dropped. So when he's scoring like that, I wouldn't I wouldn't worry about it at this point. Got a lot more to be worried about, I think. Professor, great answer. Question 2. In the context of AFL, what does it mean for a team to truly play as one? Is the success of a team determined by individual skill, or is the collective spirit and interconnectedness of the players that defines their achievements? This really sounds like Keno to me. This sounds real Keno sort of areas. Look, mate, that's some deep stuff, bro. There's a lot to really embrace there. But yeah, as you know, my friend, it's not on the individuals. You've got to bond as a team. You've got to really connect. What's the saying? The sum of one's parts is greater than whatever the thing is. There's a great saying in there somewhere, but you get my drift. Harry, Bailey Smith might have to be traded out after his first price rise. Now, why on earth would we do that? Maybe you could flip Baslenka for Jake. Now we're just having a bit of fun, I see. Nikki, also shorty thoughts on Tanner Bruin situation. Oh, I'm going to stay well away from that one, mate. Look, clearly there's some rumours going around. I certainly hope that it's not true, but if it is, then see you later, mate, basically. James, you reckon if Geelong come up against someone or Curnow, Sam de Koning plays back, O'Sullivan... Oh, I know Sullivan play. Yeah, look, yeah, that's why I didn't start him, because I thought there was a few moving pieces with Geelong, and yeah, depending on the matchup, whether it's in the ruck or in the forward line, yeah, I think that's a fair point. It's hard to say, isn't it? It is going to be hard to predict where he does play, which is maybe the biggest risk to his selection. Luke's looking forward to the quiz. Oh, Zach, what's up, mate? How you going? James, rate that. Patrick. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. TF Cal, shorty, my beautiful, handsome Pookie King has deceived me. What is going on, guys? We've got to get a few more in the quiz. Only 19. Come on. We got 52 in here. Surely we get a few in there. Come on. Let me know. Are you in? Who's in? Let me know. 52 in here. I want to see at least 30 in the quiz. James says invalid game ID for the quiz. Do you want to try it again? Because I've got a few people. Give it another crack, mate. I've got a few people joining. Graz, shorty thoughts on Jai Simpkin? Nah, not for me, mate. Not for me. Good player, but I just don't see him being a consistent option for mine. Zach, why weren't you at school today? You missed out on Toasty Club. I know, mate. Look, just wasn't feeling the best today. Bit of a headache. Just one of those days where I just needed a bit of Daniel time, mate. So we recharged and we'll be back tomorrow. But I hope you looked after everyone at Brekkie Club, mate. Nikki, shorty, daddy, course I'll join. Good man. Yes, getting the quiz. That's it. Season over already, old boy. Jason Castagna gets a mention. Detroit's in. Good stuff. Good stuff, Jack. It didn't work for me at first, but I had to refresh the tab. Fair play. Fair play. Well, I'm glad you're in now. Get around that. North top 4. Goodness me. Goodness me. That's interesting. Sure. Yeah, that's it. Detroit Breakfast Club equals 100 aura. Sure. Yeah, we love a Brekkie Club. We love it. Zach. If you and Tyson just can't keep your hands off each other. Bazookia, sometimes it doesn't work if you copy and paste the code. Okay. Thank you, mate. Good stuff. Professor, your friend to keep everyone safe. You're a deep thinker, man. Dan, do you work at a school, shorty? What's it like? Think I might want to do it once I'm out of school. No, it's good, mate. I do work at a school. I work at a secondary school in the wellbeing team. So not exactly like teaching a class or anything, but no, I love it. It's really good fun. High paced. I tell you, it's keeps you pretty busy. You have some days where you're just like, whew, I'm pretty tired after that, but it is very rewarding. I do enjoy it. James, are you worried about LDU getting tagged by Matt DeBoer? Oh, geez. Gee whiz. There's the quiz code. Hopefully we're up to about 30. 31, nice. We'll give a few people a last-minute chance, but I like it. Thank you for joining. Can I just talk about my glorious Nick Floston? Killed Carlton on the weekend. Yeah, that's it. The namesake, mate. The namesake. Oh, boy. Jack's got a slightly suspicious name. Goodness me. Toby Pink. Charlie, Geelong are playing Baz on Cotton on Money. Hey, whoa, I don't know. I mean, if we give people a bit of Cotton on Money, the occasional farm, these things happen. Taking students out of class sort of role. Yeah, that's it, mate. Having chats with the students, making sure they're going all right. That's a rewarding job, that is for sure. Now, I do have a workmate in the quiz. I thought they were going to go a bit of a different name, but it looks like they've gone the usual. I wonder if there's any risky names in here. Oh, Jesus. Not as bad as we've sometimes had, but all right. Yeah, look, I haven't got the Milo just yet, mate. Might have to after this. Oh, the professor. Goodness me. Oh, gosh. You're a funny man. All right, shall we start this? I don't think we're getting too many more in. I reckon we start. All right, good luck, guys. We got 32 of you in there. All the best. 12 questions coming at you. What was Carlton's biggest lead before losing to Richmond last Thursday? 45 points, 44, or can't even read my own screen. 45, 41, 39, or 37 points. I reckon most will get this right. There's a few questions in here that I reckon will really test you, but this one, I reckon you got it covered. Of course, they got out to a lead of 41. There you go, 28 if you got that right. Well played. And the fastest was Ozjan, Liver, Baz, James, and Luke. Rounding out the top 5. We love that. Question 2. Young Fremantle player with 2 Ps, Murphy Reid, kicked 4 goals in a stunning third quarter on debut. What number does he wear? Number 16, 22, 42, or 34? Would have saw plenty of highlights of him, but do you have his number? Number 16. A few people watching pretty close. 23 got that right, the majority. Well played. In quickest was Lance, James, Ozjan, Detroit, and just Torp it. And Lance is... Oh, no. No, we got Ozjan, James, Liver, just Troppet, and Detroit. Nothing like a bit of a heads up, hey? Lockie Keefe was the unlikely hero for the Giants, kicking the match-winning goal. That should just be goal. Who did he originally play for? Gold Coast, St Kilda, Carlton, or Collingwood? Again, I reckon I've given you a little freebie here. I think most people will get this. He, of course, played at the Pies. Few people thinking the Blues, but 18 if you got that correct. Good stuff. Tiger Rewalt, Baz, Patrick, TF Cal, Lukey Mack. So good effort there. Lukey is into 3rd, but Ozjan, Tiger Rewalt, Patrick 4th, Detroit 5th. Some familiar names in the top 5 there. Question 4. Jacob Hopper changed numbers this year, now wearing what number? 2, 12, 22, or 32? This caught me off guard. I actually didn't realize he changed numbers until I saw highlights of Lawler running around in his old number. Of course, he's 22 now, and Hopper's wearing the 2. Tiger Rewalt, Nicky Bloston, Libber, Quinny, and just Torpet. I think I pronounced that wrong before. So Rewalt will be close. He's on top. Ozjan, Baz 3rd, Libber, and Lukey Mack 5th. Good stuff. So Ozjan just doing nicely here. Question 5. Of the new on the couch team, who played the most games? Jordan Lewis, Nathan Buckley, Jonathan Brown, and Jack Rewalt. I'll tell you what, I got this completely wrong. I was like, you know what? I'll test myself out here. I'll guess. And my guess was, I think I said Lewis, but it was it's actually Jack Rewalt, 347. So that'll really split you up. That's really split the pack up here. Fastest was Free Archer, Just Torpit, Baz, Tiger Rewalt, Graz in 5th. So I reckon Rewalt goes to 1st. He does. Then Baz, Ozjan, Just Torpit, and Lukey Mack just hanging in on 5th there. He's around the mark. A proven winner is Luke, so he might still be a chance. Sticking with the boys on the couch. Who kicked the most goals of those lads? Slightly easier, this one, I reckon. Rewalt, Buckley, Lewis, or Brown. Well, look, I think most of us will rule out the midfielders straight away. It's pretty much Brown versus Rewalt. And it was Jack Rewalt. There you go. And he's actually got him covered relatively comfortably, which is a surprise. Sort of split this down the middle there. PL, Free Archer, Anthony, Ozjan, and Cheezel. So can Ozjan go back to 1st? He does. Rewalt 2nd, Lukey Mack, Nicky Vlosten, and Free Archer's had a hot run here. He's into 5th. Question 7. While Brisbane secured a gritty win, Lockie Neal was kept to how many possessions by James Jordan? 19, 14, 12, or 10? Just the 10 touches for Neal, which has to be a career low when he's been a genuine mid, I would think. James, Ozjan, Just Torpit, Lukey Mack, and Graz. So the boys in the middle, Ozjan should be on top again, and he is. Lukey Mack into 2nd, Nicky Vlosten, Baz, and Just Torpit. So ever since I said Lukey Mack, proven winner, he's really backed me up there. He's coming in hot. Saturday saw the grand final rematch take place across both games. Oh, no, that's it in between. Across both games. Got to use a full stop there, Shorty. Grand final and round 1. Which player kicked the most goals? In essence, combined round 1 and grand final. Who kicked the most goals? Bailey, Lohman, Archie, or Hipwood? I thought that might get you. There you go. So Bailey kicked 4 on the weekend, 0 in the granny. Archie kicked 4 and 1. Lance gets it. Quinny and Baz. Look at Lana go. Boom. One of the only 3 to get it. Leaderboard hardly changed except for Baz moving into 2nd. Question 9. Of these 4 West Coast Eagle debutants, which player wears the highest number? So they all pulled on their first jumper for the Eagles on the weekend, but Owies, Baker, Graham, and Reed, who has the highest number? This might test his out because I don't reckon too many watch the old Twilight drubbing, but it is Archer Reed with the number 22. I think Graham's 17, Baker's 3, and Owies is maybe 16, I think, from memory. Ozjan, Patrick, Just Torpit, Matt, and Craze fit in 5th. So Ozjan, he'll be on top. He sure is. Slight buffer over Baz, Just Torpit, and Patrick is into 5th with Luke 4th. 3 questions to go. Josh Carr is the Port Adelaide coach in waiting. He played for Port and one other club. Name that club. Was it Fremantle, Sydney, Western Bulldogs, or St Kilda? It was, of course, Freo. Most of you guys getting that right. Good stuff. James, Graz, Ozjan again, PL and Baz. So Baz will be around the mark, but it is still Ozjan on top. Baz, Luke, Just Torpit, and Quinny into 5th. We love that. Good stuff, mate. He's going to be hard to catch here. Can Ozjan hold on? Dan Houston played his first game for the Pies on the weekend, but how many games did he play for Port Adelaide? He got 186, 168, 122, or 205 for Port, which is the correct one. They're all trying to track down Ozjan. Now, well played, 168. Nice. The majority getting that one correct. Who was in quickest? James, Daniel's the GOAT, PL, Just Torpit, and Ozjan. Very kind name there. Thank you. And I think he's going to be unbeatable here. He cannot be caught. Question 12, Ozjan's going to take it out, but in the Sydney versus Brisbane match, how many sets of players shared the same name? E.g. Nathan and Gary Ablett would equal 1 set. I like this question, if I don't say myself. A little bit creative there from Shorty. And you know what? I reckon this will test you. This will test you out. Okay, 8 of you got it right. 3 it was. The Wagners, the Ashcrofts, and not related, but the McInerney's. Oscar and Justin. Just Torpit in 3rd. Lukey Mack fought on for 2nd. was Ozjan with a pretty comfortable win in the end there. He really held it for the most part. So good job there, mate. Fourth was Baz, Quinny fifth, McCuzza, Free Archer, James, PL, Matt, Patrick, Graz, Nicky Vloston, Tiger, Rewalt, Cheezel, Liver. Good stuff. Good stuff. There's a few that said left early. Now, did you guys leave or did this crash out? I feel like Blookit has some issues sometimes. Can you let me know if that crashed out on you or not? Got locked out. Yeah, okay. Kicked out. Yeah, okay. What is going on? Does anyone know why it does that? Like, that seemed to happen more than ever. Like, it is what it is. Yeah, sorry, guys. I don't know. Slow internet, so I had like 1 second answer. Yeah. I don't know. Do I look into doing Cahoots? Is that going to be more reliable? I feel like this does happen a little bit. It seemed to happen a lot tonight, but yeah. I just can't remember. The reason I did book it initially was because I couldn't access more than 20 people for Kahoot with the free version. Crash said something went wrong, was 15th after 4 questions. Nah, sorry, mate. Look, hopefully we'll have you in next week. I appreciate you giving it a crack. Kahoot is elite, but Blookit always been fine for me. Yeah. Look, I'll have a play around with it. As you know, technology-wise, we are always looking to get better. But good stuff, guys. Look, we've had a good sesh tonight, one of the longer ones, so I do appreciate all your comments. So yeah, thanks for that. I'll be back for a bit of a preview to the round on Thursday night with the teams. Talk about a few of the stuff we talked about today. And yeah, just put that out there. And then, of course, if you like some of the TikTok content with a bit of a shorter, sharper approach, I'll have a few of those towards the end of the week as well. So remember, give these guys a second chance. Don't waste your trades too much because we might need them desperately towards the end of the year. Good stuff, guys. Thanks, Graz. No worries, Bazookia. Thank you, mate. Detroit, good man. See you, Ozjan. Good stuff. Catch you, Luke. Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, we'll pray for a better week this week. We really will. See you, Nicky. Good stuff, mate. I'll talk to you guys next week. Good stuff. Thank you. See you, mate.